G'day gang, we all coping with the restrictions. I hope we all are. I've come up with a great idea. If my workplace can't stay afloat, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an online course on cosmetic surgery, because once this whole coronavirus thing is gone, I think there's going to be a real place for ear pinning. You just have a look at the number of people who are walking around with those masks on, you know, the ones, yeah. And I reckon, you know, they're going to want them back. Otherwise you look like a wingnut. Anyway, enough of that. Let me show you what I'm playing with today. Okay, so here's the story. We charge the battery. We put her in. You go to fire him up, and essentially it just sounds like there's no gumption in the battery. It goes. Eee. At one point there was a time where I heard it start up and it sounded like pretty horrible meshing of gears, plastic gears, but you know what I mean. And I did pull the back off the starter, and I found that I didn't pull the starter right out of it. I did pull the back off it, and I found there was a loose bolt in there that bolts apart to the crank. So, and it was pretty mashed up. But I was just about over it by that time, and I just screwed it back in. And for quite some time, I'd been pulling it with the pull starter, which is quite difficult because this has got a lot of compression. I guess that's why they put a pull starter on it. She's, I think it's, I can't remember how many cc she is. I don't know, 30, I don't know, 24 or 30 something cc. Anyway, how about I'll just get the battery, we'll test the voltage on her, and then I'll show you what happens. Okay, so as you can see on this battery, you may be able to see it's a 12 volt battery, and it has four terminals. These are the only ones that are actually used. I thought these might have been for charging, but they're not. So you do need to charge the battery up. One of the things I hate about tools, flat batteries, so therefore all my tools are either air or cable. But if I'll show you how much it's actually got. You see that? Yeah, you can. Okay. So it's got, hang on. It's always the way, isn't it? Can you see that? Yeah, it's got 13.9 volts it's saying in there. And I have just taken it off the charger, by the way. So, here's what happens. Oh, which one? That's on that side. Here's what happens. This button here, that's your ignition and your momentary, and this is also a momentary, and they won't work unless they're both pushed together. You ready? Hear that? That's the issue. So I'm going to pull the starter off the back of it, and actually while we're just here, I might just see what sort of voltage that ripped out of there. Maybe the battery isn't holding much goodness. What are you doing? No, you're not. You won't have 18 volts in you. I don't know what's going on there. because that shouldn't be any more than there we go, 13 volts. So it hasn't sort of smashed the battery about. The battery's so good. It hasn't sucked everything out of the battery in that little short period of attempt at cracking it. So we'll get around the other side and whip that cover. So it's got Torx bits in the back of it, as you can see. Can you see? You can see. And as you can see, I've actually got a full set. So that'll do us just fine. I'll put a socket on that. The easiest way around it. There we go. We'll get these out of here. Was that light coloured? I don't know. I'll have to go and get some more. Go and get it deep. Might just beat these three, I think. 4. Well, I'll have to get something for there. Okay, there we are. If you don't have any of these, you should get some. Very, very handy. Okay, come on off, bugger. We're gonna have to go in deeper. What else is holding on to him? Well, I'll go and have a look and see where we're at. There's a plug under here. Yeah, there's the plug. These two here. Oh, don't fall off the table. Don't chuck it all and get off the table. Okay, now it should come off. There we go. Move that bloke to the side a bit. Let's get ourselves situated. So inside here, these are obviously they'll come out as she's swinging around. It's got a one-way clutch or bearing inside that, and this bit here it's pretty grubby in there. But I think it was that there that was loose, and I just screwed it down. But I think something's going to run amok. Right? I just needed to lubing up or something. Maybe. I might just I might just give that a swing around. Just would power him up and see what happens with it when it's not turning a motor or whatever, eh? I'm going to hook him back up. I'll back the battery back in. I'll whack the battery back in. You ready? That just might want cleaning out, eh? We'll see what happens. Okay, so I imagine that the motor just slips out of here somehow. I undid that one. I don't know. Let me investigate that a little more. Okay. There's a sneaky screw. There you can see him. We'll get him out. Oh, it's only self-tapper in the plastic, eh? Okay. With all the bits. And out she comes. Oh, a bit of schmutz, a bit of something fell out of there. A bit of fucking beast, that's what that is. Okay, so there's a little clip in there that holds that onto that. Okay, well, we'll grease all that up before we put it back together. We'll put a bit of, well, it has got a little grease on it still. And here's the bit I want to be looking at. I'm going to pull this fella out of here, eh? I don't recall what happens in here. Don't think I actually have this. I've never had this apart before, so. No, okay, so there's a little cap, and it's got some grubby bits in it. Let me get the torch so we can get a better look. It looks like the spring's been moving about in there. Can you see that? I think up in there, looks like the spring, that's what must have happened, see? When she come loose, when that little bolt there has come loose, it's allowed this to swing around, spin around, and that's why it didn't work. Okay. Alright, well, we can do something with that. That's a pretty self-explanatory little bearing, spring. This hooks into there. This guy here, not a very flash fit. Oh, it has, what have you? Looks like it hasn't been happy at some point. It's got some scars inside there. I'd like to get that out of there. I'd like to get that out of there and just give it a good clean inside it. Pliers maybe? Pliers, yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. It's just a plastic. Is it run on the plastic? Yeah. Just runs on the plastic. Huh. That's pretty dry. There's a little washer in the bottom there. The bottom of the gear, it's got a little something in there, some sort of a bushing. Okay. Well, I reckon I'll clean all that up and dig the bits of shrapnel and stuff I can get out of there and see what happens from there, eh? Okay, so all those bits are all tidied up. We'll get some grease down in there. I can't recall where I got. I think this is assembly lube actually. Oh no, it might not be. It's really, really tacky, but no, it's not assembly lube. This is what I put on the door handles. Somewhere around everywhere, I think. Somewhere around everywhere. Oh, come on, bugger. I think that should do it. There we go. It's a bit of drag on that. I think it's coming good. Okay. That plate goes on there. And that hole, that fella goes on there. The shouldered bolt too, see? What about whack some up in here, eh? Maybe a bit around there. Now I probably should put Loctite on that, but oh, I think that might be our issue, eh? That's our issue. We've all gone tight. Where do I put me a bit of rag? we've all gone tight. Okay, so why is that? That's in its correct position. So something isn't right there. No. Too tight. Okay, so what am I going to have to modify here? So obviously something's worn down. Okay. I'm looking here, and I don't think it's supposed to touch. I don't think that's supposed to touch there. Yeah, I don't think that is supposed to touch there. I think it's supposed to. Okay. We'll have to look deeper. So it's not that section. It is a smidgen snug. There's that little sleeve in there. It's got a bit of drag on that, but I don't think that's where it's supposed to be turning. I think it should be turning on here. When I push this down there, maybe it's got a bit of something in the bottom. I think it'd have anything else but grease in there actually, but you never know. I'll get him out and give him a wipe off. He'll come out. There we go. Oh, I don't know, this looks a bit. I'll turn it up that way and put it on that way. Whether it makes a difference, I don't know. Still got plenty of. I'm sure I've still got plenty of this on there. Come on. She's tacky stuff. Oh, that's where it seems to be binding. I suppose we want to call it binding. Why? See what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it together. There's a little. This is a bit of a bugger. So we've got to get it over that. Yeah, right. I had it on a moment ago, didn't I? Come on. Let's try it a different way then. Oh, good stuff. Yeah. There we go. See what happens if I put this in here first. There's my hole, there's my hole. And it should. But it's not. Why is it not? Uh-huh. Okay. Something's not right. Something is not right. There's no doubt about that. No, it's not in its. It's not in its position. Because when it is, that thing shouldn't wobble around like that. I'll get it. I'll be back. I'll get this in there. Well, it's in there. It took a bit of a struggle, but the problem was that little sleeve that was in the inside, it doesn't like being all the way to the bottom. So I'll sort of left it up proud with the top of it, and things go around. It's still very snug, but I expect that's probably the way it is. They don't want it to be rattling around, I suppose. So I'm going to grease this lot up, put this back together. We'll see if it goes around and sounds any different, and we'll put it on the engine and see what happens. Now I should probably put a bit of Loctite on that, but when I did it up tight like that the last time, it was quite snug coming out of there, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. And so we'll get this back in. Like this, I believe. Get this fella back in there. Like that. There's that sneaky one down in there. We'll put it all back together again and see what happens. Okay, we'll just we'll plug him in, see what happens. See if it should go round and round and round just like it did, if nothing else. But hopefully I've made it happier. I did think the charger originally was knackered because it was always showing fully charged. Obviously the reason it was showing that is because it was fully charged. Okay. Okay, it's going round. I guess the next thing is to go put it back on the put it back on the engine. And see what happens, I suppose. Just like that, I believe. That one should go to. That one should go to there. That should go to there. I feel like I'm getting eaten by mosquitoes or something. Get the bolts in there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess yeah, I'm thinking like using it to propel a boat. So maybe we've got a shaft and stuff like that here. Maybe a radio boat. I reckon it'd be pretty cool. But it's got plenty of grunt, let me tell you, because it's got that little bit extra compression in it. It really and it shakes you too. This thing, you can tell it's got plenty in it. But yeah, like I said to you earlier on in the beginning there, like this thing, we all know what it's like. Just going, more and more. And it just becomes boring and old very quickly, and your back gets sore and stuff. So what I might do is go and get a socket and pull a spark plug out first and then we'll give her a swing around. Okay, so I'm expecting it to crank over fairly quickly. That's what it used to sound like with the spark plug in before. Now I'm going to go and get a little bit of fuel, put it in, prime it up, see what happens. So I'll just pour it a bit down the plug hole. I just want to see if it'll fire up, that's all. If it doesn't, it could still be that there's no gumption in the battery, you know what I mean, like the ability to be loaded, but that's not a big deal because I could get a little motorcycle battery or whatever, 12 volter, and use that, and which wouldn't be a big deal, and this wouldn't be too hard to actually set up as off a remote. Alright, well, let's see what happens. Yeah, just, I don't know, I think maybe the battery's no good. I don't think she's got the gumption. 1300 milliamp hour. Yeah, I think that's had the sausage, and that would to replace that battery would, I don't know what I paid for this, probably $150 or something when it was new, 7 or 8 years ago or something. I can't remember how long ago. It's a fair while ago. But that's what I reckon's the problem. I think the battery's lost its gumption. She just won't. She hasn't got it, has she? Like you can hear it. It has a shot at it. But it's not happy. Alright. Okay. All good. But at least it's, I can see, okay, I think I can use this with a, in a something. Anyway, That's what makes them tick. I don't know if you'd seen one like that that's got the starter on the back like that. But yeah, alright. That's a bit of time wasted. Well, not really wasted. At least I know where I'm at. Have a goodie. And I'll be checking you later. Cheers.